And Transformer fans, once again, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to all of your support, especially those of you that are Optibotimus Plus channel members, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Animated Universe PROWL. And this is one that I was absolutely ecstatic to get. Way back in 2009, your old boy here, Optibotimus, got his first big break by being the first person on YouTube to review two animated figures. The first being the Transformers Animated Lockdown. The second was that Deluxe Class PROWL.
Alright, boys and girls, welcome back. This is Optibotimus with my video review, part 2 of my Autobot PROWL from the Transformers animated series. I found out that this is a deluxe class. It does say it on the box. I was unable to find it in what's his face, Lockdown's review, but they are deluxe class. So we're gonna go ahead and transform this guy.
And yes, even way back in 2009, we were getting them from overseas suppliers, people that quite literally were taking them from factories, going on eBay and selling them to us. And me and a lot of other people got our names here on YouTube by buying those. It's been around way before the people that are doing it today. And yeah, I was a part of that. And from time to time, I still do it. Because for those of you that don't know, to be successful as a YouTube toy reviewer, you gotta be the first person to show the toy off. And I definitely benefited from that way back. Now, I haven't done it quite as much lately, because one of the tricks to doing that is these figures usually cost 2 or 3 times more than what they cost at retail. And I just don't have that disposable income anymore. But if you've been watching me since 2009, this is kind of like a full circle sort of thing. And I am super excited because this is the first time that we've gotten an animated version of PROWL since that 2009 release. So it's really fun, and if you've been with me that long, thank you so much. You guys are all absolutely fantastic. Now for the packaging, it is this a plastic-free packaging. They have just announced that they're going to be going away from this, going back to the plastic, but it's going to be a kind of like a hybrid plastic sort of thing. So no more open package, which I'm really excited to hear, because I just don't like that you can reach in here and, you know, mess with the figure. You have the Transformers text right here, the Generation logo. You got a really cool image of him in his motorcycle mode. You do have that open window that showcases him from about the chest area up. You have a little QR code that you can scan if you are so inclined. Come around to the side here. You got an up-close image of his face, which definitely has a little bit more of that G1 PROWL sort of look with the little horns right there. I mean, the animated one kind of did as well. This is a little bit more pronounced. You got a more pulled-back image of him. The other side here has a full displayed image of all the various figures that are in this new Transformers Legacy Evolution line, including a very large Decepticon head here, which, if you watched the recent Hasbro live stream, that was announced, which I'm excited about as well. Come around to the back of the package, you can see that he transforms in 20 steps. You got images of him in his robot and his motorcycle mode, and his Evo Fusion is basically his blades that can open up, which, I mean, I don't really know how that's like an Evo Fusion. It's literally just them opening, but that's very similar to what his original toy did. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Transformers Prime Universe PROWL, opened up out of its packaging and obviously in his motorcycle mode. And I love this figure. I absolutely do. This is such a really cool update to that original one that really does impress me. Now, one thing that's interesting about this, though, is this takes on a little bit more of a classic-looking kind of police motorcycle than what that original Jazz did. Setting him there, bringing in that classics, well, I shouldn't say classics, but that original PROWL, you can see that this one has a much more, like, speed bike. I don't know what else to call it, but kind of like a more sleek racing bike, I guess, whereas this one has a little bit more of that actual real life police motorcycle look. Color-wise, you can see, though, very similar. One thing that I will say is that I guess that this area here is cleaned up a little bit better on the original animated one. Again, it's not bad or anything, but it definitely has a kind of a gappiness to it that this one really doesn't have. I mean, you can still see that there's a little bit of a gappiness going on there. I mean, and the tire here kind of connects in here, but like this area right here is a little bit more blocky and broken up. It still looks really cool, and you can see a definite homage to it in terms of like the colors and kind of the overall shape. Even the transformation is kind of sort of similar in some regards. One part that I do not like about this one is these back pieces here. These are his arms. These are meant to kind of like lock in and tab. Mine 100% don't. It's not bad. I mean, you also have like a little post thing on here that kind of locks up in there. This whole section kind of locks in together very nicely, though. This, though, you can straight up just separate that. I wish there was a little bit more of a connecting bit here. It just, for whatever reason, mine like does not stay together. I mean, you can kind of see it creates a gap sort of thing, which is definitely ugly. Not terrible, but it is kind of worth noting. He does have a kickstand like the other one does. The only problem with this one is this one kind of makes it hard to stand, so you kind of have to angle it a little bit, again, at least on mine, to kind of get it to actually work. But this one is a much better kickstand because it's a motorcycle. Obviously he can roll around. He's just got 2 tires, much like that original one. He does have weapon storage. You can see his little like throwing stars are a part of the hubcaps in the front. In the back, that was the same thing here. Well, actually, no, was it something? Yeah, it was something like that. The front and the back both had those. So all of that is definitely here as well. Transformation is, like I said, similar, which is kind of fun. There's definitely some new things on here, but it really does feel like an evolution to that original one. First, you're going to come down here to the side. You want to detach these bits. Just kind of pull them away. Kind of swing those a little bit forward, just like that. Just kind of get that up just like so, and then that popped off, so we'll deal with that here in a second. Let's just put that back on there, but just kind of swivel those up just like that, and then bring this down, straighten all this out like that, fold out the toe, put it like that, and then again bring this whole section down, and now you have the back side of them. You can tell because the crotch piece here doesn't have these screw holes, so you know what the back side is. Rotate these around so you have the legs pretty much in the right kind of configuration. And bring these arms all the way out. Bring this down, and then this whole section here rotates around the arms just like that. Kind of then bring this all the way up. Get that position right. This will push and lock into place, and then angle these all the way up, keeping that there. Bring out the arms, bring that down around. Fold out the hands, tuck that down, bring out that hand, tuck that down, and when you're done, there you have the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Transformers Animated Universe PROWL in his very cool looking robot mode. And like I said, I absolutely love the way that this guy turned out. He definitely, again, has a slight departure from that original animated series look. Bringing that in right away, you can see that he was a very slender character, and the toy replicated it perfectly. One thing that I do kind of notice between him, in terms of the bulking up of him, he does have a little bit more of that armored samurai look that the animated Prowl took on later on. And I like that. I don't know if that was intentional, but it still looks pretty darn good. I also really like, I kind of talked about the head sculpt here, coming in to take a closer look at that. Like I talked about, this is a very slender looking head sculpt, and you can see that the crest is there. This one definitely has a little bit more of that G1 looking crest, which I still think looks really good, but it is a slight departure, but still in general homages how the original one looked. You can also see you got the wings going on there, which I dig. I do like how the handlebars here actually kind of flip around to give a little bit more of a dynamic look, whereas the handlebars for this actually kind of tuck down, so it's a little bit hidden better. I mean, let's be honest. The animated toys were seriously some of the best Transformer toys that we ever got. In terms of recreating how they looked on screen and how that translated to the toy, it doesn't really get much better. These things were simply amazing. But color-wise, you can see it carries on pretty well. You do have the little light bars here on the back. That continues. You got the little arrows here as well. One thing that's very interesting, and I'm just going to drop that. These are actually molded and then painted over. That's really kind of cool, but it's not just paint. That is a separate molded piece that you can feel. That's really quite impressive. Of course, you got the little Autobot logo with the red coloring, whereas this one was the silver. Kind of like the silver one a little bit better, but everything else looks pretty darn similar all the way down. He's just a little bit shorter and blockier. For the most, I guess if you made him taller, it would probably make him a little bit more slender like this guy. But this is a great evolution of the character. Now, he does come with his weapons. These are the same things as before. You have these that store on the side, which I absolutely love that. That's really cool in terms of the overall design. I don't like how they kind of roll out, though. They kind of get stuck. There's like gears in there, and you almost kind of have to pull the gear to get it to completely open, but you're supposed to be able to twist it, and you can kind of see it kind of goes in and out, but it doesn't really want to work all that well. But you can just kind of pull it out and get these on there. Now, he does have a little bit harder of a time holding them, just because they're rounded like that, and there's no real roundedness to that. So he kind of has a hard time holding these things. You can kind of wedge it in there, but it's not going to work all that well. And both of them are the same way. You just kind of rotate that again. That one's actually pretty good. Okay, so you have the little bladed star weapon right there, which is fun. And then this is a little bit more kind of close off. You can see that the hands, this is that 5mm port sort of thing, whereas this one's not. So this hand actually, I like that. Now that's closing again. The hand on this side cannot hold it. This side, though, interestingly enough, you can kind of wedge that in there. And now we can hold it in there pretty decently. You just kind of have to play around with it, and it gets it in there pretty well. So that's cool. I wasn't really anticipating that. And he doesn't come with a gun. So, I mean, I just have this. Can have that, but that's cool. I really, again, wasn't expecting that. And then you can just take these, rotate these back around, and they just kind of port in here. There's no grooves or anything. The other one had like some weird grooves, but you just got this little, I'm throwing it around, this little ridge section here that literally you just kind of fit that in, and it just kind of frictions in there. So get that in there as well. Come on. I mean, it would probably be easier if the little gear mechanism worked easy. And I'm probably making it worse by forcing it, but putting that in there. Now, for size comparison, because he is the only animated universe one that we've gotten, the only one that really comes close, because he existed in both animated and Prime, would be Bulkhead here. Now, again, this is more designed to replicate that Prime universe one, but I think it works. I'm definitely quite happy with it. Obviously, he's a deluxe and he's a Voyager, but I still think it kind of translates pretty well for the most part. Articulation-wise, the head is on a very good ball joint. You can get a very good range of motion going back with that. I absolutely love it, kind of making it look like he's using his back thrusters here to kind of fly around. I do dig that a lot. The shoulders here do rotate. They have a ball joint. Is it a ball joint? Yeah, it's a ball joint right there. So you can get a pretty good range of motion all the way around. You have a swivel at the elbow, bend at the elbow itself. The wrists don't do anything except for move in and out, but that's just kind of part of the transformation. But you can kind of bend it around a little bit. He does rotate at the waist, which is nice. The hips do move forward and back. Those are very stiff, just rotation joints. But I love that kind of stiffness to him. So you know that he's going to hold a very solid pose. They hinge in and out. There's a little bit of a ratchet going in and out, kind of like right here. I mean, the rest is free-flowing, but then there's a little bit of a ratchet, which, again, really nice for stability issues. You can rotate at the thigh, you have a bend here at the knee, and then because of the transformation, he's got this big long thing that can kind of rotate as well. So you can get a lot of cool dynamic poses with him. The feet do go back, and then you can also hinge those in and out. So again, nice wide stance for him if you want to create a very cool karate chopping looking pose. But in general, I'm very, very happy with how the way that this guy turned out. You could probably hear that in the majority of this review. Transformation does get a little bit tricky, but not too terribly much. The vehicle mode does have that little bit of a gappiness kind of, but all in all cleans up very nicely. And as I said multiple times in this video, it does feel like it's an evolution of that original animated figure, both in terms of the motorcycle, the transformation, and even the robot mode. All of it is extremely well done, and I am really curious to see what they're going to do in the future, because as I mentioned, those Transformers animated toys were just about perfection in terms of recreating how they looked on camera and then translating that to toy form. They were just about 100% spot on. So I'm really curious to see what the evolution of some other animated figures will be. Prime, Megatron, Bumblebee, hell, I'd even love that cranky old Ratchet. So I'm all on board when it comes to these animated figures. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Transformers Animated Universe Deluxe Class PROWL. If you'd like to add this guy to your collection, he is hitting various retail locations right now. Or you can do the real simple thing and go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth. If you choose to use the link in my video description to go to Entertainment Earth, in addition to being able to get free shipping on orders over a certain amount, you'll also save yourself an extra 10% off of any in-stock order that you place. That's a special deal that I worked out with Entertainment Earth for you guys to help save you some money, and it's a really good way to help show your support for my channel. And finally, guys, please remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching, and until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen.